Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Police were at the scene of a serious crash on Idlewild Drive in Saskatoon this morning. Northbound lanes were shut down as the Highway 16 flyover as officers investigated what appears to have started with a police traffic pursuit. The collision happened just after 8 a.m. In a release, Corbin Park police say an officer attempted to stop a vehicle after a driving complaint on Highway 11. The driver fled, heading southbound before crossing the median into oncoming northbound traffic, where it collided with another vehicle which caught fire. The injured driver was transported to Royal University Hospital, while the officer involved was also taken as a precaution. Numerous comments and photos are being posted on Facebook from those who witnessed the crash.
No, I saw smoke on the road on the way and obviously started looking. I hope everyone's okay. I didn't think anyone would be walking away from that kind of crash.
Saskatchewan's Serious Incident Response Team has taken over the investigation. CERT is asking for witnesses to come forward with any information they have. A close call for one man and his passenger as the spring flooding is causing destruction on several Saskatchewan roadways. This dramatic sight on Highway 335 is the result of flood damage. As Austin Martiniak was driving home at night, he suddenly found himself stuck in the aftermath of a collapsed road and his car began filling up with water. While he and his passenger were able to escape with minor injuries, Martiniak wanted to share his experience as a cautionary tale for drivers.
I had my high beams on, but even then, like the dark country roads, even with the high beams on, you can't tell what's water and what's solid until it's too late. My dad always says, chance favors the prepared mind. So always take the extra couple seconds just to check.
Many highways throughout the province are currently closed due to flooding, and drivers are advised to check the highway hotline before hitting the road. Floodwaters are now forcing people from their homes. This is a family farm near Tisdale. The homeowner says her family was forced to evacuate by boat yesterday morning as water quickly surrounded the property. She says it's devastating to watch her home and livelihood disappear underwater.
We don't know when we're going to go back home. Like, all we have are the shirts on our back. It was so scary.
Meanwhile, members of Red Earth and Shoal Lake Cree Nations east of Nipawin are also being forced out of their homes by rising water. The Red Cross says it is helping with evacuations, with many residents headed to hotels in Prince Albert and Saskatoon. Businesses along First Avenue are breathing a sigh of relief after City Council decided to pause dedicated bus lanes through running downtown. Last week, City Council voted against dedicated bus lanes, reducing traffic to one lane in each direction from 20th Street to 25th Street along First Avenue. Affected businesses on First Avenue say they're pleased to see the city take some time and reconsider their concerns, like where the police cars will stop when responding to emergencies outside Midtown Mall. What are snow removal plans if there's nowhere to pile snow? And where will delivery trucks park for businesses without back lanes?
I don't think anybody's really happy about the situation. I think the concept's great, but the implementation is sorely lacking, and the amount of space that they've decided that they need to take up for it is way more than it needs to be.
City administration did not say how long it will take to bring back answers, but the route along First Avenue won't be considered again until their report is ready. RCMP in Sandy Bay pulled drugs and weapons off the street following a traffic stop on Saturday. Officers got a report of a possible impaired driver near Sandy Bay in the early afternoon on Saturday. They found an SUV with 4 people inside, parked outside a home with drugs and weapons in plain sight. All 4 people in the vehicle were arrested. During a search, officers found and seized these items: weapons, methamphetamine, cocaine, amphetamine, and crack cocaine, cash, and drug trafficking equipment. A 27-year-old woman from Prince Albert, a 29-year-old woman from Pelican Narrows, and a 23-year-old woman from Prince Albert faced drug and weapons charges. The 4th passenger was released without charge. All 3 were in provincial court yesterday. The RM of Corbin Park has implemented a fire ban to mitigate the risk of recent dry conditions on wildfires. The ban, which took effect this morning at 9 a.m., has been implemented in Divisions 1, 7, and 8. Outdoor fires must be put out, and lighting of any new outdoor fires are prohibited. Examples include fire pits, burn barrels, controlled burns, and fireworks. It does not apply to internal household fireplaces or outdoor propane or natural gas pits, barbecues, or fire tables. Fires lit by fire protection organizations for training or prevention are allowed with proper approvals. The RM says the ban will remain until conditions approve. Fire crews contained a grass fire on the Cowessess First Nation yesterday afternoon. Members of the First Nation as well as nearby Kakawishtaha responded at about 4 o'clock yesterday. Crews took around 6 hours to contain the fire, with Cowessess firefighters staying at the scene to put out hotspots. Multiple First Nations, including Cowessess and Standing Buffalo, have implemented fire bans this week. Saskatchewan's Serious Incident Response Team has found no wrongdoing following an in-custody death almost a year ago. CERT says the morning of May 6th, RCMP responded to a 44-year-old man in Melfort who was acting erratically and had an injury to his hand. He had broken a window of a home believing it was on fire. He was arrested under the Mental Health Services Act and taken to cells where he was assessed by paramedics. He was then taken to hospital where he was again behaving erratically, and there was a physical struggle with one of the RCMP officers. The suspect was then taken back to the RCMP detachment, where he later went into medical distress and became unresponsive. An autopsy showed the man died from acute cocaine toxicity with severe coronary artery hardening being a contributing factor. CERT has concluded there was no grounds to believe an offense was committed by the responding officers in the case. We knew it was coming, Jeff, but a little bit of breeze coming this afternoon and throughout the day, actually. Yeah,
you know, it's certainly not as windy as it was yesterday, not as cold a wind as it was yesterday as well. But yes, a bit of a breeze, as you mentioned. It still has to do with this big low. It continues to sort of make its way eastward, but still having an impact on Manitoba, Saskatchewan, parts of Alberta. But for the most part, Alberta is really starting to warm up, and that warming trend is coming our way. And I know that's not the best news for those people dealing with flooding, because we're going to be continuing to have a lot more in the way of melting for what's left of the snowpack. So we'll talk about those numbers later on.
The government of Saskatchewan is mailing out a questionnaire to every household in the province to see what residents think about social media. Premier Scott Moe says the province's move on the topic will be shaped by the results of the survey. It asks if families would support social media limits for children and at what age, along with what social media platforms should be exempt.
And I think at this point, what we're really asking for is for families and parents to return the survey so that we can compile that data and properly represent them. Because there are, it's not as simple as saying we're just going to ban social media for youth under 16. There's a more nuanced conversation.
The provincial government is encouraging everyone, whether they're a parent or not, to participate in the survey and mail it back by the end of June. Communities across Canada are honouring and remembering missing and murdered Indigenous women today. Virginia Decloute has more from today's event in Yorkton.
Through cold winds and sputtering snow, people dressed in red took to the streets of Yorkton to raise awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
She went missing in 2007, and it's just nearly 20 years since she's been gone. Her name was Danita Big Eagle.
A young mother of two, Danita was 22 years old at the time of her disappearance, and it's her grandchildren that have helped Diane through the nearly 2 decades since.
Oh, it just about destroyed me, but I stayed strong for her children, because her children are adults now. I've had them ever since her baby was 9 months old and her daughter was just about 4.
Diane, not the only mother searching for answers and honoring missing and murdered women on Red Dress Day, the National Day of Awareness. 11% of missing women in Canada are Indigenous, and First Nations women also make up 16% of homicide victims in Canada.
And we get together at City Park and we listen to mothers, family, who've lost a daughter or whose daughter is still missing.
May 5th is an important date. but the work continues every single day.
They also have a lot of educational programs that teaching younger girls, the younger generation, the younger men and women about good choices, safe choices, being safe. So it's an everyday thing.
The tribal chief said there are resources and helplines available for any woman who feels unsafe or is at risk of harm.
To come out and support the families, like, financially or just verbally. Like, we don't need much, and we don't ask for much, but we'd sure like support.
She hopes that one day her family will learn what happened to Danita. In the meantime, she'll continue honoring her. Fruzsina de Kloot, CTV News, Yorkton.
Saskatchewan producers who want to use strychnine for pest control must complete a 90-minute course. As rural municipalities prepare for the Strychnine Stewardship Program rollout, the 90-minute online training course is now available for producers to control gopher populations. Participating RM officers will distribute strychnine later this spring, starting in early June, followed by an additional monthly shipment with a per producer cap. The exemption runs until November of 2027. When we come back, preparing for another season of CFL football, we'll break down position groups ahead of the team's return to training camp. With Roughriders rookie camp starting tomorrow and main camp starting on the weekend, here's a look at the battles for positions on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Today, we'll look at the quarterbacks and running backs.
Back for a fourth season with the Riders, 14th in the CFL, is quarterback Trevor Harris. The 39-year-old is coming off one of his best seasons, throwing for more than 4,500 yards for just the third time in his career, and winning a Grey Cup as a starter for the first time ever. He is, of course, the clear number one. Tommy Stevens is back as the short yardage pivot. He was clutch last season, running for 193 yards and 7 touchdowns, 2 of those in the Grey Cup game. With Jake Mayer gone, the battle will be at backup. Jack Cohn is entering his third year with the Riders. In his limited playing time, Cohn was 12 for 29 for 138 yards and a touchdown. Challenging him will be Braden Shager and Jordan McLeod. Shager was on the practice roster at the end of last year, playing his college ball at the University of Hawaii, throwing for more than 9,000 yards in 4 seasons. McLeod signed in January after attending Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie minicamp last year. He played his college ball at Texas State, James Madison, Arizona, and South Florida, known for his ability to run with the ball as well.
Running right through is Ouellette. What a break up he's at. A.J. Ouellette. Wesley Sutton on the tackle.
At running back, A.J. Ouellette will be back for his third season after a first year hampered by injuries. Ouellette had his best season ever in 2025, running for more than 1,200 yards, a career high, while rushing for 196 yards and a touchdown in 2 playoff games. Canadian Thomas Bertrand-Houdon returned as a ratio changer. He only played in 7 games last season, but came up big when called upon, including a 2-touchdown performance in Week 1 versus Ottawa. 3 American running backs are vying for backup spots. Mario Anderson Jr. joined the team last year, running for 134 yards on 24 carries and 2 touchdowns. Penny Boone spent time on Toronto's practice roster. He played his college ball at Central Florida, Toledo, and Maryland. And former NFLer Darrell Henderson Jr., the 28-year-old, spent 5 seasons with the LA Rams, picking up 19 touchdowns, winning the Super Bowl in 2022. But he hasn't played a snap in the last 2 seasons. Rounding out the group are fullbacks Albert Awachi and Morgan Runge, both returning from last season.
After the break, Jeff has the weather forecast and expanding the scope of pharmacists to improve access to care in Saskatchewan. So, Jeff, that spinning system is continuing to spin in the same direction it has been, sort of sending that cold air down.
It's got the Motown sound. It's the spinners. There you go. Yeah, no, we've got a lot of cold air still moving into our area, but it is starting to move more eastwardly. And in that respect, that's going to be somebody else's problem. That meaning to say it's going to be Ontario's problem. They are going to be seeing a lot more in the way of precipitation. Southern Ontario, Quebec, and ultimately into Atlantic Canada. Some really soggy sort of latter part of the week. So starting probably tomorrow and into Thursday and Friday for many parts of central and eastern Atlantic Canada. So that's what's happening there. But for us, you know, it continued to be relatively warm out in British Columbia, big high pressure ridge, and then that system's moving through. And then, of course, in behind it, we've got ourselves relatively quiet conditions. Now, a bit of a low pressure center will show up, sort of angle through Saskatchewan in the next 24 hours or so, but we don't anticipate that really sparking up anything in any kind of significant way, precipitation-wise, what I'm talking about here, of course. Let's take a look at some futurecast indications. So these pressure lines staying pretty far apart, so we're anticipating a relatively mild, we don't anticipate strong winds tomorrow is what I'm getting at. A little different story for parts of Alberta, but as you can see, there is a little something showing up. There's a low pressure area starting up here. That's going to make its way down, but yeah, not really adding up to a bunch. Here we go. Overnight tonight, most places clear or clearing skies. A bit of cloud, a bit more cloud though in the Birch Hills region. -5 degrees for Spiritwood, and the same for the Battlefords. -6 for Candle Lake, Birch Hills, and Rostern, and Melfort, and Nipawin. So a pretty consistent temperature pattern overnight. And yes, these conditions are below seasonal. And so yeah, I was talking to some people about, you know, putting out hoses and things like that. It's like, hey, you may not want to be cranking up the water, getting the water out there until we have forecasts that are going to have more consistently above overnight temperatures that are above 0 degrees. So you don't want to deal with any burst pipes or sprinkler heads, things like that. So for tomorrow's daytime highs, the temperatures are below seasonal but manageable and getting closer to seasonal. So 12 degrees for Spiritwood, 13 for the Battlefords under mainly cloudy skies in both communities. Sunny and 11 in both Birch Hills and Candle Lake. 12 degrees in Rostern, but with a bit of cloud, not much though. Nipawin, a bit more cloud, 9 degrees, and 9 as well in Melfort, but Melfort enjoying sunny skies tomorrow. On to Prince Albert in detail, -6 degrees overnight with clear skies. Winds out of the northeast at 10, but then tomorrow, not much wind at all. Sunny skies, 11 degrees, light and variable winds. And the 7-day outlook for the Gateway City, 16 degrees on Thursday, so above seasonal. Things back off a little bit on Friday, and there's a chance of showers on Friday. Then 12 degrees on Saturday. Sunday, pretty much seasonal temperatures for Mother's Day. Then 19 to start the work week. And 1 week from today, 20 degrees with mainly cloudy skies.
Sounds to me like street cleaning weather, and pretty soon you'll be able to wash your car and keep it clean for over maybe 12 hours, maybe longer.
I think you're right, yeah, for
That'll
sure.
Be nice. All right, Jeff. Well, after winning the Eastern Conference Final over the weekend, the Prince Albert Raiders are preparing for the WHL Championship. Prince Albert defeated Medicine Hat in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Final, and they return back to Prince Albert on Monday afternoon. Soon, they'll head out again to face the Everett Silvertips in Game 1 on Friday night. During the regular season, the teams only met once, with Prince Albert winning 4-1, but the Raiders have had some changes to the lineup since.
Only see each other once a year. Again, you put stock in the video and stock of previous games that were played, and we did see them once at the start of the season. So looking at that tape, but again, these are two teams that have changed from that date that we did play.
Prince Albert has won the WHL Championship twice in their team's existence.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
The provincial government and Pharmacy Association of Saskatchewan have signed an agreement expanding the scope of local pharmacists. The 3-year deal, effective May 1st, includes the expansion of strep and ear infection services, allowing more availability and access to care in the community. It provides more commitments to support minor ailment prescribing by pharmacists and chronic disease management services by pharmacy professionals. The province says the expansion of pharmacists' scope of practice optimizes their skills, builds capacity within the healthcare system, and brings healthcare closer to home. Health Canada has approved the second generic version of brand name Ozempic. It's manufactured by Canadian company Apotex. The authorization comes just 3 days after Health Canada approved the first generic semaglutide, the active ingredient in Novo Nordisk's Ozempic, made by Dr. Reddy's Laboratories in India. The injectable medications are approved for the treatment of type 2 diabetes in adults, but Ozempic is often prescribed off-label for weight loss. Canada is the first of the G7 countries to authorize generic semaglutide. Apotex is a global pharmaceutical company headquartered in Toronto.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
All right, Jeff, time for an update to a story we brought a couple of weeks ago, and I guess I'll preface this. Are you a social media hound? Are you a TikToker?
Sure I am.
Not likely? Well, neither am I. But I think that might change because the story we told you a few weeks ago, it was a grandma based in Yorkton, and she's now become a budding social media influencer. Grandma Sherry is getting her own show on APTN. Grandma Sherry found some success on TikTok with videos teaching her audience about cooking bannock and other traditional Indigenous foods with millions of views. Now she's going to bring that same approach to a new show, but spoken in Dakota, her native language. It's part of APTN's efforts to preserve and revitalize Indigenous language. The show premieres tonight on APTN Languages and through APTN Plus. And I think I'm trying to remember now, Jeff. Are you a fan or a connoisseur of the bannock? Because I've only had one style, and our camera guy Dan has told me you can have it a million different ways.
Well, I think you can have a million different ways. Basically, you got your fry bread, and it's called different things in different parts of North America. But there's baked and there's fried, and they're both really, really good.
Unreal, yeah. The only one I've ever had, I think it was baked, and it was with honey, and that was I thought, okay, I've got everything I need right there. So apparently, there's other ways to have it.
Apparently,
we'll have to find those out. National news is coming up.